This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so welcome all to this particular session on SAP S/4HANA 1909 Finance. As you know, this is our first session. Okay, so we are starting this batch from today itself. So before we go further into this first session, there are some important things that we should follow throughout the course. So every day during the session, please make sure that whenever you are not speaking, your mic is always on the mute mode, right? Because otherwise there will be a lot of background noise and the voice quality will not be good. Okay, not only during the session, even you are going to get these recordings for the future reference also. So make sure that everybody is muted whenever you are not speaking, and you can always unmute yourself whenever I'm asking any question and you are trying to reply on that. Okay, so I'll not be muting you from my side. Please make sure that you mute yourself, and whenever you have any question or whenever you are answering something, you can just unmute and go ahead with your question. Also, one another important thing is many times what happens is whenever I am talking about a particular topic, okay, so there are some questions coming in your mind, but are still not completed, right? So it may happen that whatever question has come to your mind will get solved automatically if you allow me just another 2-3 minutes. Okay, so just to make sure that we are not breaking the rhythm, whenever you have the question in your mind, till the time I allow you to ask the question, you can always write that question on the chat screen so that you don't forget to ask. Okay, so there's a chat screen in this GoToMeeting. You can go to the chat and you can just type your question. Okay, so what will happen is once I complete my topic, then I will go through all those chat questions, whatever you have asked. If that question is still not answered, I will answer immediately, right? And then obviously once I complete one small topic, I will give you time to unmute yourself and ask your questions. But please avoid to, whenever I'm in the rhythm, I'm talking about a particular topic, please avoid to unmute yourself and ask the question in between. Okay, because it will create a, like we will not be able to go with the flow in that case, right? So these are some one or two important things which I thought of telling you before we start the session. Okay, so next one is, let me I know there are some guys who know me already, but I'm not sure how many of you don't know me. So before I start, let me introduce myself. So my name is Vikram. Many people know me with the name of Gaurav. That is my nickname. Okay, so you can call me Vikram or Gaurav, whatever you think is okay. I got around 15 years of SAP consulting experience, out of which around 4 years in SAP S/4HANA. So starting from 2015, when SAP came up with this SAP Simple Finance and SAP S/4HANA, I was very much part of the many projects on SAP S/4HANA. So although full time I worked on 3 SAP S/4HANA implementation projects and 1 system conversion project, but apart from this, from last 2 years, I am also running my own consulting firm, and I'm also doing a lot of freelancing activities. So I cannot tell that I am directly working on those projects, but I got a lot of small activities that I'm doing on those projects. Okay, and apart from this project activities, I'm very much active into the individual trainings. The one which we are having now is individual training. So I conducted more than 50 batches. So if I talk only about SAP S/4HANA Finance itself, this is our 30th or 32nd batch. Okay, so starting from the 1503 Simple Finance, then 1511, then 1610, whatever different versions SAP came up with, I conducted the trainings on those. Okay, so this is going to be around more than 50 individual batches that I conducted on SAP S/4HANA Finance as well as logistics. So I don't restrict myself to the finance area. I know a lot of things in the logistics also, mainly those things which are new in S/4HANA. So for example, material ledger activation, output determination. So there are a lot of things which I also know how they work from the logistics point of view also on S/4HANA. So I'm conducting the trainings not only for finance. So my area of expertise is finance, controlling, and S/4HANA logistics. So these are the 3 batches which I'm conducting every now and then. Right. Apart from the individual trainings, I am also doing corporate trainings. So my last assignments were with Atos, Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, PepsiCo. So These are just to name few many other corporate trainings I have conducted. Okay, so this is about me. This is about my overall experience. In terms of certification, I am already certified in professional SAP S/4HANA 1610 finance version, and I'm also certified in some of the logistics modules like MM, SD, and even associate certified in CO also. Right. So this is about me. Maybe let's go to the next one. So now what you can expect out of this course. Okay, so we need to make sure that our expectations are clear. What are we going to do throughout this course? So this course on an approximate, okay, so I'm saying this is approximate. It is not necessary that when we are saying 40 hours, it will be exactly 40 hours. It can be some hours lesser or some hours more, right? So around 40 hours of course, which is divided into different components. Okay, so first of all, we are not going to directly touch on the functional topics, right? So before we go and understand what has been changed in new GL accounting, what has been changed in AR, AP, bank accounting, and all these things, we also need to understand the basics of SAP S/4HANA. What is S/4HANA? What exactly is cloud? What exactly is on-premise? What exactly is SAP Activate methodology, right? What is HANA? What is Fiori? Okay, so these are some of the topics which we need to understand before we dive into the functional topics. And that is the reason the first thing that we are going to cover in this course is we are going to start off with the basics of SAP S/4HANA, right? So the first thing that we will do is basics of S/4HANA. So we are starting today. So maybe for another 2-3 sessions, we will be concentrating only on the basics of SAP S/4HANA, right? Once we complete this, then we are ready to see the system. We will go in the system and we will try to configure all these things. Okay, we will start with the company code creation itself. I don't want to show you whatever is already configured. Okay, I am not the person which will tell you, okay, this is configured, this is how it was done. No, what we are going to do is we are going to do all these things in the system directly. Okay, so even the company code creation we will do, and that company code we will use throughout the course, right? So whatever we want to do in GL, whatever we want to do in AR and AP, we will be doing in our own company that we'll create from scratch, right? So this is something which is going to be covered in detail. Okay, whatever has been changed in new GL accounting, whatever has been changed in new asset accounting, COPA, the basics of controlling. So apart from this, there are some other important topics also which you should know. Okay, it is not mandatory. When you are working on finance, normally you will be working only on these topics. But you know, in the industry, whenever you go for the interviews, they will also ask you, do you have any basic knowledge on central finance, or maybe do you know what has been changed in the cash management compared to SAP ECC? Do you know what is embedded BPC, how the planning and the group reporting will work? So we will also discuss those topics, but this will be the overview on those topics. Okay, because each and every topic is a course in itself. For example, if you want to understand the cash management, then definitely it is a part of FSCM. Central finance is again a separate course altogether, and embedded BPC, you know, BPC is already a course in itself. But we will understand what has been changed compared to ECC and in S/4HANA, right? So this would be around 8 hours of discussion on these topics. And then, very importantly, which each one of you is going to work on in the coming years is system conversion from ECC to S/4HANA, right? What does it mean? If a customer is already using ECC system, there are a lot of customers today who are using SAP ECC system. If they want to convert the ECC system to SAP S/4HANA, what are the necessary steps? What are the preparation steps? What are the execution steps? What are the checks that you need to perform? So entire process, how the system conversion is done, that we are going to cover in the last 6 hours of this course. Okay, and followed by doubts and clarification. Because why I written doubts and clarification? Because you are going to work on 2 projects in this particular course. Number 1 is weekly projects. So whatever we are learning today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, I am expecting that at least, see, first 2 weeks is okay because we are not doing any activity practically in the system. We are just understanding the basic concepts of SAP S/4HANA. But in the coming weeks, whenever we will be doing GL accounting, whenever we'll be doing AR, whenever we'll be doing AP, asset accounting, So my expectation is whatever we are doing in a particular Saturday and Sunday session, before the next Saturday and Sunday, you should be able to cover that topics. Okay, you are going to get the server access also to do those tasks, right? And why you need to do that is when I am doing, you might be feeling it is easy, but when you will start doing it, you may come up with lot of errors. So it is your responsibility to complete the task and come up with whatever doubts and clarifications you have in the next session, right? So there will be one weekly project. I am not going to give you any task. Whatever activity we are going to do in the session, I am expecting that same activity you have completed in your own system also, right? Then there is a final project, which I will give you once I complete this system conversion. Once I complete this part, what we will do is I will give you one final project, which includes the activities related to this task, activities related to this, activities related to this, right? Which you need to complete in the another 2 weeks. So once we complete this system conversion, I will give you 2 weeks of time to practice all these things to complete the project. And then there will be 2 sessions or 2 or 3 sessions, whatever it is required to clarify your doubts, right? So whatever errors you encountered whenever you were trying to do this project, we can clarify those errors during this doubt clarification session, right? So overall, as I told you, around 40 hours of session. It totally depends whether it is less or more. It totally depends upon the involvement. Okay, so if there is more involvement from your side, if you are asking a lot of related questions, then definitely we will get more time. Okay, but if it is like you are just in the listening mode, very few guys are asking the question, then maybe we can complete in the 35 hours also. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you before I actually start any particular topic. So any questions till now? Okay, before that, let me tell you one or two more things. Number one, the server access. So you will be getting 2 months of server access from our side. Okay, you need to decide when you want to start the server access. Okay, so my recommendation would be don't go for the server access for first 2 weeks, because first 2 weeks are the basics. We are not going to touch the system much for the first 2 weeks. Okay, so you can ask the server access from the third week onwards, and from third week onwards you will be getting up to 2 months. By that time we will be able to complete our course. That is number one. Number two is the documentation. What documentation are you going to get out of this course? So we will be providing you the certification PDFs, and we'll be also providing you our own PPTs, which will help you in the configuration related activities. Okay, coming to the course content, I hope all of you have gone through our mail. Okay, in the mail, I think it is very clearly written what is the course content. Okay, please make sure that you read that course content properly. Later on, there should not be any miscommunication that I was expecting this particular topic to be covered, but it is not covered, right? So let's be very clear. Whatever topics are provided in the course content, those topics will be covered during the course. Okay, at the same time, I will also make sure that after this session, I will be sending you the slides as well as the course content link once again, so that you can go through it. If you have any doubts related to the course content, you can definitely come back on that. Okay, so apart from this, do you guys have any questions? The session would be every weekly. Okay, it is only going to be on weekends. The timings are fixed, 9:30 to 11 as of now. Maybe for 1 or 2 sessions, whenever we are taking the basic topics, it would be only 90 minutes of session. But later on, when we start working on the system, we may end up 2 hours of session also. So just uh, make sure that you blocked 9:30 to 11:30 for next few weeks. Okay, so any questions?
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, Central Finance is a different course other than Simple Finance, or it is
Central
covered.
finance is a different concept altogether. See, simple finance, see again, there is a lot of confusion in the market. Simple finance, central finance, S4 HANA finance. So maybe in another 1 or 2 sessions, you will get a clear idea of what is simple finance, what is central finance. But yes, central finance is not a it is not a functionality. It is a concept in itself. Central finance means you have multiple source systems. Okay, which means maybe I'll try to show you here. So what is central finance? See, you have this kind of multiple source systems. Let's say 2 systems you are running. This is your SAP ECC, and this is some other system, Oracle system. Now you want to implement SAP S/4HANA. Okay, but thing is, you will be using SAP S/4HANA in addition to these 2 systems. So your transactions will still be done in ECC and Oracle. And whenever you do any transaction in SAP ECC or Oracle, automatically the data will flow to the consolidated one single system. So this is a central system, which will pick the data from these 2 systems. This is called as central finance. Understood, Mahesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll be discussing this in detail, what is central finance and all. But the thing is, if you want to understand it completely, then we need multiple different systems. We need to have some configurations here. So it itself, central finance itself is more than 25 hours of course. Okay, but we will be only discussing the basics of central finance.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so anything else which you want to clarify before I go ahead and start the first topic for today?
Yeah, good morning, Gaurav. This is Talhara.
Your voice is too low.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, Gaurav, hi. This is Talhara Hill. First of all, I would like to thank
Yeah.
you for your introduction to this course. And I'm an
Thank you.
SAP FICO consultant with 5+ years of experience, and mostly into FI. My exposure was mostly into FI. The CO was only the minimal portion I covered in CO. So my doubt is regarding the controlling, whether the controlling, whatever the new changes has been made. So will I be need to learn CO first separately and then expect your class to understand the controlling, or whether I can be able to cope up with your class with the changes
No,
as
see,
well as the new topics? Yeah.
yeah. So if I talk about this particular course, in this course, whatever controlling related things are required, for example, whatever COPA relevant changes I'm going to explain you, or
Okay.
whatever basic related things I'm going to explain you, I'll be explaining these things to you from basics. Okay, so you don't need to have any
Okay.
previous knowledge. That is completely fine. But
Oh,
again,
okay.
that it doesn't mean that this covers entire controlling, because there is a lot of other things in controlling module like product
Yes.
costing, material behavior, cost center
Yes, material
accounting,
ledger.
cost center
Yeah.
accounting. So those topics we are not discussing in detail in this course.
Okay.
So if your agenda is to learn this Delta course, then you should not worry about whatever controlling knowledge you have or not. But if you want to
Okay.
learn everything in controlling, then definitely you have to go for the separate controlling course.
Oh, okay. Okay, understood, Vikram.
Okay, so my expectations for what is my expectation in terms of your qualification to go for this course is you should have around more than 4 years of experience into SAP, either SAP FI or SAP CO. Okay, but
Okay.
I'm not expecting that you know each and everything in FI, because many things we will be covering from basics, like new asset accounting also. Even if you
Okay.
don't know accounting was working in SAP ECC, you will be able to understand it very easily.
Okay. Okay. Because the basic configuration, anyhow, you have to do if you have to
Okay.
explain it further.
Right, right. So see, new deal accounting, new asset accounting, these are the topics which anyways we are going to cover in detail. AR and
Okay.
AP we will not be covering in detail because there is not much change. In AR and AP, there is only business partner and there is only payment program change. So those topics only
Okay.
we will be discussing. But yes,
Oh,
other topics like accounting, UGL accounting, COPA, basic controlling, you don't need to worry. We will be giving in detail.
okay. Okay.
Okay, anything else?
So after this course, can we be able to independently handle the new implementation as well as the conversion, Vikram?
Yes, see, you will be, again, you will be definitely comfortable to work, but you know, the on-job experience is something which will make you learn a lot of new things. Okay, so
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not saying you 100%, but at least the basic knowledge which is required to start the project, that confidence you
Okay.
will definitely. Okay,
Oh,
then
okay.
obviously when you work on the project, every project has its own challenges. So even after so many years of experience, so many projects, we don't say that we are 100% confident to work on any SAP S/4HANA project.
Yes,
Every
yes.
project has their own challenges, right?
Okay.
Also, after going through this course, plus with your previous experience on SAP FI, you will be able to very confidently able to clear the certification exam also.
Okay. That's fine. So my main concern was that only if in someday, if we got into project and they will ask you first thing like whether you can able to handle this project independently in FI, at least in FI, not about other modules. So we should be in a position to at least do the conversion or as well as can handle the new projects. So that's what I was.
Definitely. From the functional point of view, whatever is required to carry out a project, that confidence you will definitely get.
Okay, then that's good. Yeah, thanks for clarification, Kram.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll start with the first topic for today, or maybe first topic for this course itself is I want to know from your side, what do you think is S4HANA? What is SAP S4HANA? So whatever things you have heard till now, okay, whether it is right, it is wrong, let's try to tell it out and we will see what exactly is SAP S4HANA. Whatever things you know, just tell me whatever things you heard about S4HANA. Everyone, please go ahead. You not heard anything about S4HANA?
Yeah, mostly. Yes, mostly we heard that S4HANA is an in-memory database.
Okay, so yes, these are the things which I want to hear. So to make very clear what is in memory and all. So SAP S4HANA uses in-memory database. Okay, what else?
And columnar, it is a columnar
Columnar data storage.
storage.
Okay. What else have you heard? How it is different than SAP ECC?
Fastest reporting. Vikram.
It is in a RAM. It is placed in a RAM.
Okay, so RAM, that is the reason we are getting speed. Okay, what
And
else?
since it is in memory, we don't need to create aggregation of index tables.
Okay, so no aggregations. Yes.
No,
What else? Sorry, no aggregation, no?
no index tables required because
Index.
everything is in
Okay.
memory and column based.
Yes.
Lot
you're
of
right.
tables are removed to merge into a single table.
Tables are removed, merged to single table. What is that table?
AC doc. Okay.
AC docker.
AC doc. Yeah, AC doc or AC docking. Yes. What else?
And universal general, which is the single truth of
universal journal, which is called a single source of truth. Yes, you know a lot of things good. What else?
And the merging of FI and CO.
Yes, FI, CO, merger.
A new graphical interface is there, that is Fiori.
Exactly. So new GUI, which is based out of Fiori.
And which is provided with this, we have embedded analytics comes along with this.
Embedded analytics.
CDS views.
Sorry?
CDS, core data services, used for the reporting purpose.
Based on CDS.
Yeah, CDS.
Okay.
It is a multi-core DO processor.
Multi-core processor. Okay, as of now, I'm just writing. Whatever you are saying, I'm just writing. Later on, we will segregate, like where exactly those things are relevant.
Okay.
And this one is, it's more role-based, user-friendly application, like all the front end.
That is, yes, that is part of Fiori. You have Fiori, which is role-based. Okay. Have you not heard about cloud and on-premise? Comes in.
Yeah.
Yes, comes in on-premise or cloud versions.
Or hybrid.
Yeah, so on-premise, cloud, and hybrid versions.
And there are
Okay.
two technical terms, which is the greenfield conversion versus
Brownfield.
That is for every product, right? So you can, implementation can be done using greenfield or system conversion. There is third one also.
Yeah.
Greenfield, system conversion, and landscape transformation. Okay, we'll talk about all these things. As of now, don't worry, just whatever your understanding is, I'm just noting it down. So implementation can be done using greenfield, system conversion, or landscape transformation. What else? What is very, very important from the finance point of view? What is very important? Why a customer will go for SAP S4HANA? Why a customer will go? Let's think about CFO. Why your chief financial officer will decide, yes, S4HANA is something which will give us the desired results? What is the problem that finance departments are facing in SAP ECC?
Since all the information is storing in AC Docker, you can get the like the reports or the high-level information. All the company is seeing one information at the same time.
Definitely, that is a very good thing. But what problem it is solving? What was the problem if the data was getting stored at different places till now?
Time, Gaurav.
One is time. What else?
One real time.
Real time. Yeah.
Real time, I think ECC is also real time, right? Only problem is reconciliation. There are a lot of reconciliation issues. Even if you are using new GL accounting, there are many cases because the tables are independent. For CO, there are separate tables. For FI, there are separate tables. For asset accounting, another set of tables. So what is happening is during the month end, there are a lot of reconciliation issues, and that is the reason the companies are not able to close their books on time. Okay, but now with this new architecture, which means whenever we are going to talk about a single table, what this will do is this will solve the reconciliation issues. Okay, this will solve the reconciliation issues, which means fast closing. Your closing activities, which you need to perform every month end, every year end, will become faster. This is one of the very best advantage of SAP S/4HANA, because of which many CFOs will decide to go for SAP S/4HANA. Right? So maybe I'll write these points are enough. Whenever we will come across a new term, again we will come here and we will keep on adding these pointers. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to divide these pointers into 3 parts. Okay, number 1, I want to divide this in-memory database is relevant to what? Is it a functionality? Is it a database simplification? Or is it a user interface simplification?
Landscape.
Database
No.
simplification.
I gave
Database.
3 options. Yeah, I gave you 3 options. SAP, whatever simplifications they have done in SAP S/4HANA are divided into 3 parts. Okay, let me write it here. There are 3 ways in which SAP has simplified the S/4HANA. Number 1 is database simplification. Number 2 is UI simplification. And number 3 is functionality simplification. So what do you think? In-memory database belongs to what?
Database itself.
It's obviously database, right? So, and which database? Which database is used by SAP S/4HANA?
HANA database.
HANA.
HANA DB.
Yes, SAP HANA database. So, which means this in-memory database functionality comes up with SAP HANA, right? What about columnar data storage? Is it a UI? Is it a functionality, or is it a database again?
Yeah, that also database.
It is also database because the data is getting stored in the database and data is stored in the columnar form. So this is again SAP HANA. What about the speed? RAM. The data is getting stored in RAM. Again, it is related to data storage. Yes, again, it is related to data storage. That is the reason this is also SAP HANA. No aggregations, no indexes, which means there are a lot of tables which are removed. There is no need of aggregations and there is no need of indexes anymore. Again, this is a property of what?
Database itself. Because the
Database.
the tables are saved on the database.
Right. Okay. Now this one, although you can see tables are removed, merged into single table, but this is done for what? What is the reason to do this? What is the reason to delete the tables and come up with one single table?
Again, reconciliation.
To keep the data at the minimum level, storage should be the minimum level.
Right. So it is mainly for the reconciliation issues, to solve the reconciliation issues. And reconciliation issue is what? It is a functionality, right?
Functionality.
So this is functionality related simplification. Again, universal journal, these 2 points are one and same. Universal journal itself is table AC document. Okay, these 2 things are one and the same thing. So whether you say single source of truth or you say universal journal or you say table AC document, this is one and the same thing. So this is also related to functionality. Okay, FI and CO merger, obviously this is a functionality, right? Now coming to new GUI. So we discussed the third simplification is in the form of user interface.
UI.
Right? So new GUI is nothing but Fiori, which is Fiori UI. Embedded analytics based on CDS views. This is again database. CDS views, what is view? View and tables, this can be used interchangeably. So this is also part of HANA database. Multi-core processor, this is again part of database. Right? Comes in on-premise, cloud, hybrid. This will not come in any of this. Okay, so this is not a database functionality. This is not a UI functionality. This is not a functionality itself. So we will keep this as it is. Even this is also the implementation part. So how are you going to implement? So this is not going to come in any of this. And finally, solve the reconciliation issues, which means faster closing. So where exactly this will come? This will come in database or UI or functionality?
Functionality.
Functionality, right? Okay, so with this one, we identified why we should go for SAP S/4HANA. So if a customer asks you, why should I go for S/4HANA? What would be your answer? Because S/4HANA uses SAP HANA database. SAP HANA database provides you in-memory capability. It provides you columnar-based data storage. It provides you more speed. Why? Because the data is directly getting stored in RAM. It is also providing you the removal of aggregations and index tables. It is also providing you CDS views due to which you can perform your analytics reports. It is also using multi-core processor. Because of it, it is getting more speed. So this is the first point. First thing, you will try to tell him all the benefits of SAP HANA database. Right? Number one point, why SAP S/4HANA? What is SAP S/4HANA? SAP S/4HANA uses SAP HANA database. Because it uses SAP HANA database, it is performing in-memory computing. It is storing the data in the form of columns. It is providing you the speed. There is no need of aggregations and indexes. And also, it is using embedded analytics based on the CDS views. So the first point that should come to your mind whenever anyone is asking, why should I go for S/4HANA, is you should tell him that SAP S/4HANA provides SAP HANA database. Okay. Second point should come to your mind is SAP HANA provides you new user interface. So the way in which we are using the transactions currently, if I want to create any new GL account, or if I want to create any new vendor invoice, currently what I'm doing is I'm going to SAP logon pad, I need to log on, and then I need to use the transaction code FS00 or FB60. Okay, so the problem in the traditional GUI is the screens are very robust. We cannot use FB60 FS00 from our mobile device. Right? Nowadays, everybody is asking that, can I do these transactions from the mobile device? Okay, everybody is used to the mobile devices nowadays. Nobody wants to do the transactions sitting in front of computer. Think about your banking, think about your ticket booking. Are you still sitting in front of computer? Very rarely, because most of the things can be done from the mobile device itself. Now, same thing, customers are asking, why can't we run SAP system also from the mobile device itself? And that is exactly where SAP came up with SAP Fiori. So SAP Fiori, number one, it will allow you to access the transactions from mobile device or tabs. Number two, the screens are simpler compared to the old screens. In FB60, there are 200, 300 fields, which is very difficult for the new user to understand. Right? But now if I show you the new screen on SAP Fiori, you will understand the screen is very simple. Okay, even a new user don't need much training to work on the SAP system. They'll be able to perform their transactions very easily using the newer screens. Okay, just think about, do you need the training to operate how to book the railway ticket or how to book the flight ticket? Nowadays, very simple apps are available. You can go to the apps and it is very clearly showing you what are the different options available. You don't need training to work on those systems, right? The same case, customers are asking, why not on SAP? Why do we need to provide the training to the end user and like spend a lot of money on the end user trainings? Now, this can be made simple with the use of very simple Fiori apps. Okay, we'll discuss about that. We will talk about how SAP Fiori can be accessed, what are the different apps available. We will talk about all those things. So second thing, just remember that the second important thing which SAP S/4HANA offers is new user interface in the form of SAP Fiori. And third, and the most important, is functionality. Because if I'm only getting database, if I'm getting UI, then I can do this in ECC system also. I can apply SAP HANA database on SAP ECC. Is it possible? Do you think that? Can I use SAP HANA database on SAP ECC system?
No.
Yes, it is possible.
It is possible. It is very much possible. You can use SAP HANA database on SAP ECC system also. If your customer is running SAP ECC system on Oracle or DB2 or any other database, we can obviously replace that database with SAP HANA. Right? That is one thing. Can I use SAP Fiori also on SAP ECC system?
Yes.
Exactly. SAP Fiori also can be used on any SAP ECC system. Okay, so for Fiori also, it is not necessary that you should SAP S/4HANA. So then if I'm able to use HANA and Fiori on ECC itself, why will I go for S/4HANA? I will only go for S/4HANA if it is providing me functional benefits. Okay, so when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, it is not only the HANA database, it is not only the Fiori interface, but it is combination of HANA, Fiori, and simplified functionalities. Okay, so you need to remember this thing. Whenever we talk about SAP S/4HANA, the first three key enablers that should come to your mind is HANA database, Fiori user interface, and simplified processes. Okay, so let me write it here. What I'll do is I will create a new slide again, and we will write why SAP S/4HANA. Okay, number one, SAP S/4HANA uses SAP HANA database. Okay, this is number one. SAP S/4HANA provides new user interface. It is that new user interface, which is SAP
Fiori.
Fiori. And third one is SAP S/4HANA provides simplified processes. Okay, so these are the three things that you should remember whenever someone asks you why should I go for S/4HANA. So these are the three important things that you should be able to tell to the customer. Okay, and also more number of benefits is SAP S/4HANA can be implemented on cloud or on premise or using the hybrid approach. Okay, so if a customer comes to you, let's say a completely new customer who was not using SAP till now, and he tells you, okay, whether I should go for SAP S/4HANA, but the thing is, I want to go for SAP S/4HANA, but I don't have budget to buy the hardware. Okay, if I don't have the budget to do that much expenses in terms of the buying the hardware and all, what we can tell the customer is, no need to worry, SAP provides you the cloud option. Okay, what do you mean by cloud option? When a customer goes for cloud, there is no need to buy any hardware. This hardware also will be provided by SAP itself. So the one-time investment that a company needs in order to run the SAP system, that investment is no more required. Okay, so we will talk about this also in detail, what is cloud, what is on-premise, but as of now, we are just creating the overall picture, like what exactly we are going to do in this course, right? So S/4HANA can be implemented on cloud, or it can be used on premise, or it can be used on using hybrid approach. Okay, now some of the very important things we will understand. We need to answer these questions. Just now we discussed, can we use SAP HANA on SAP ECC? What do you think?
SAP HANA.
Can we use SAP HANA database on SAP?
Yes, it is possible.
Yes, it is possible. What is this product called as?
EHP7, ECC EHP7.
ECC EHP7, but what is the full form? This product is called as SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA. Have you heard this term earlier? Normally, when we hear this term, SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA, we think this is nothing but S/4HANA, right?
Yes.
This is not S/4HANA. When we say SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA, this means SAP ECC system running on HANA database. It is also called as suite on HANA, SOH. Okay, so SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA, which is also called as suite on HANA. Clear on this? Now, what is the full form of S4HANA then? We forgot to write that. What is the full form of S4HANA? That is the first thing that we should enter here. Any idea what is full form of S4HANA?
Simplified. S is simplified. I think.
Okay, it is SAP Business Suite for, just remember this for, I should write like this, SAP Business Suite for
HANA.
SAP HANA. Okay, so S stands for, again, there are a lot of different things which are written in different blocks. So S stands either for suite in this case, if you go with the full form, but many times it is also said it stands for simplified. Okay, S stands for suite or simplified. Similarly, 4 stands for, in this example, it stands for this for, right?
Yes.
But it is also written somewhere that this means 4th generation ERP. Okay, so just remember there is a difference. SAP Business Suite for SAP HANA is S4HANA. But when we say SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA, there is a difference, powered by and for. So powered by SAP HANA is SAP ECC system running on HANA database. When we say for SAP HANA, this means SAP S4HANA. Okay. Another question. Can we use SAP S4HANA with non-HANA database? See, ECC, whenever I'm going to talk about ECC, I can use, let me write it here, ECC system, or maybe here, ECC system can use any database. Okay, like Oracle, like DB2, like SQL. There are different database servers which are available in the market. So whenever I'm running SAP ECC system, I can use Oracle, I can use DB2, I can use SQL. My question is, can I use Oracle DB2 with SAP S4HANA?
No, that is not possible. Only can be implemented on HANA database.
That is right. That is the reason it is called as S4HANA. Why it is called as S4HANA? No, it is not possible to use any other database with SAP S4HANA. The name itself reflects that this product can be only used with SAP HANA database. Right, so we cannot use any other database with SAP S4HANA. Only HANA database is supported with SAP S4HANA application. Okay, next question. Can we use Fiori with ECC? Can I use Fiori with ECC system? Just now I answered that also.
Yes. Yeah, we
Yes.
can use.
Yes, it is possible to use SAP Fiori on ECC, but very important, but with many restrictions. Okay, I'll tell you what are the restrictions. Now, this is something completely new for you, but don't worry as of now. We will understand each and everything in detail in the coming sessions when we'll be discussing about Fiori in detail. So in Fiori, there are 3 types of apps in Fiori. 3 types of Fiori apps. Transactional apps. Okay, what is transactional? Transactional apps are those apps which allows you to do the transactions. So you want to create an invoice, you want to make the payment, you want to create a vendor. These are all transactions. Second is analytical. Analytical means reporting apps, which will allow you to see the list of vendor invoices, the list of payments, the graphical list of the total sales for the particular customer. So reporting. Analytical means reporting. Transactional, analytical, and fact sheet. Third one is fact sheet. This is also the reporting app. We will talk about fact sheet in detail later on. On ECC system, we can only use transactional apps. On ECC, again, on ECC with non-HANA database. On ECC with non-HANA database, we can only use transactional apps. On ECC with HANA database, we can use transactional and some of analytical and fact sheets. Okay, so although it is possible to use Fiori on SAP ECC system, but very much limited. So for example, in S4HANA, if I have thousands of apps, only some 100, 200 apps will be used in case of SAP ECC. That too, it depends whether you are using on HANA database or you are using on non-HANA database. Clear on this? Last question.
I have one question. What is the
Yes,
fact
go ahead.
sheet? Fact sheet?
Fact sheet I'll talk about later. Fact sheet is again
Okay.
one type of the reporting app, which will allow you to see the reports.
Okay.
Okay. So last question, if a customer is using HANA DB, does it means customer is using SAP S4HANA?
No.
If someone comes to you and he tells you that we are using SAP S4HANA, and if you ask them, okay, which version of S4HANA? He's telling ECC HP7 itself, but we are using HANA database. So does it not mean automatically if I'm using HANA database, this means my application is S4HANA or not?
No.
No, it can be ECC also.
Exactly. So answer is no. Big no. Why? No, not necessary. Right? Why? SAP HANA database can be used on ECC also. Okay, which is called as Suite on HANA or SAP Business Suite
Powered by.
powered by S4, powered by SAP HANA, right? Okay, the SAP HANA database can be used on ECC also, which means SOH or SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA. This is very important. In the market, 90 out of 100 consultants think that if I'm using HANA database, I am using S4 HANA. Okay, which is not the right thing. Even the customers are confused. When they say HANA and S4 HANA, they use interchangeably. Is HANA and S4 HANA same thing or different things?
Different thing.
What is the difference between HANA and S4 HANA?
HANA is the database.
Exactly. That is the basic difference. Then what is S for HANA. HANA is a database. What are the other example of databases?
SQL Server, Oracle.
There are other examples like Oracle,
SQL Server.
SQL,
Pros.
DB2,
Yeah, DB.
right? Then what is S for HANA?
S4HANA comes with the functionality, financial functionality with HANA database.
We can call it as an application.
Exactly, it is a application. If you remember R3, what is three-tier architecture? What are those three tiers?
Presentation layer, application layer, and database layer.
Exactly. So SAP consists of three layers, right? What are those three? Number one is presentation. Number two is application. And last one is database. Okay, so which is the presentation layer which is used in case of SAP S4HANA?
Fiori.
SAP Fiori. Also traditional GUI. So you can still use that old transactions. It is still available. So you have the option whether you want to use SAP Fiori or traditional GUI. This is a presentation layer. Okay, so the SAP S4HANA, the presentation layer which is used is SAP Fiori or traditional GUI. HANA is a database. Other examples of database are Oracle, SQL, DB2. S4HANA is an application layer. What are the other examples of application in terms of SAP?
Oracle, Microsoft.
So in terms of SAP.
Okay.
In terms of SAP, ECC. But you are right. If you want more examples, then you can say Oracle Apps. You can say Microsoft Dynamics, right? So these are all the applications. So SAP S4HANA is an application which runs on SAP HANA database. But this HANA database, it is not necessary that this will only work with S4HANA. I can use HANA database with any different applications. I can use SAP HANA for SAP ECC also. But this S4HANA cannot be used without HANA database. Okay, so HANA can be used with other applications, but S4HANA cannot be used with any other database. This should be very clear in your mind. These are the very important questions which are asked in the exam also, certification exam also, and many times in the interviews also. Okay, so just remember the presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. SAP HANA is a database. SAP S4HANA is an application. And SAP Fiori or traditional GUI is your presentation layer. Clear on this?
Yes.
Any questions?
Sir, in SAP S4 HANA, it is still 3-layer or it is merged into 2-layer?
It is 3-layer only.
S4 HANA is also.
Yes. You are still using Fiori, you are still using application, you are still using database. See, it is up to the customer. Again, SAP by design it is 3-layer architecture, but some of the time they say 2-tier. The reason is they are clubbing the application and database into one single system, one single server. Okay, but conceptually it will still remain 3 layers. Clear?
Okay, clear.
Okay, so what I will do is I will try to summarize now what we have understood from the SAP S4HANA point of view. So instead of, see, this one we just written as it is without proper definition. What I'll do now is I'll write a proper definition of SAP S4HANA. So what is SAP S4HANA? SAP S4HANA stands for SAP Business Suite for SAP HANA database. This is the first point. Second point, what I'll write here is SAP S4HANA works only with SAP HANA database. Okay, now what is the benefit of using SAP HANA database? I will write everything in this single line itself, which means it provides you in-memory computing. Okay, I will remove this. I already entered this. It provides you columnar database storage. Okay, so I'll remove this. Data is stored in RAM. So I'll remove this without aggregations and indexes. Right, so I'll remove this also. Okay, then anything related to HANA, this one provides the PDS views for embedded analytics. And last one is multi-core processor. It uses multi-core processors. Okay, so this summarizes the HANA part. Second benefit of SAP S/4HANA is SAP S/4HANA uses new user interface. That is SAP Fiori. Okay, which means it will allow you to access the transactions from mobiles and tabs. Okay, it provides you role-based access. So I will remove this point. Okay, there is no other point. Yeah, so SAP S/4HANA uses user interface, new user interface, that is SAP Fiori. And last one, SAP S/4HANA simplifies the functionalities. Okay, so currently we are only discussing about FI functionalities, but S/4HANA simplifies not only finance, it also simplifies MM, SD, PP, SRM, CRM, EWM, lot of different modules. Okay, so SAP S/4HANA simplifies the functionalities. Which functionalities? So universal journal, single source of truth. I will remove all these 2 points. These are almost same. Okay, merger of FI and CO. So this one also I'll bring up. Okay, what else?
Reconciliation issues.
Solves the reconciliation issues, which means fast closing. Okay, and it comes in, okay, this is fine. It comes in on-premise and cloud, and the implementation can be done in greenfield, system conversion, and landscape transformation. So this is a summary what we discussed today. We discussed that SAP S/4HANA, what is the full form? There are 3 different functionalities or 3 different ways of looking into S/4HANA. Number 1 is HANA, number 2 is Fiori, number 3 is functionality. So SAP S/4HANA comes up with HANA database, it provides these features. It comes up with SAP Fiori, which provides these features, and it provides the simplified functionalities. Okay, it comes in cloud and hybrid version, and these are the 3 ways to implement the SAP S/4HANA project. What are we going to do next? We understood SAP S/4HANA uses HANA database, and due to HANA database, we are getting these benefits. But do you know what are these benefits? If I ask you, what do you mean by in-memory? You know what is in-memory?
The data is saved in RAM instead of a hard drive.
Exactly, so you are right. What about the columnar database storage?
It is,
You know what is columnar database storage?
it is access the data through column, not sequential base. Traditionally, data is read in sequential basis. Now it is
Rows.
read on. So there are rows.
But what is the benefit of storing the data in the column? And if it was so easy, then why it was not done in SAP ECC?
Actually, Actually, it is columnar. It is will access through. It will break in multiple processes. Let's suppose we have 10,100,000 records. Then due to core processor, dual processor, it will divide it in 100 parts, and immediately it will search. And when we will get the result, it will show the output. It is the very fast.
Okay, so ultimately you are right, it is providing the speed. Now internally it is making some calculations due to which it is providing the speed, but maybe we need to understand the basics of this. Okay, so what we will do in our next session is we will understand what is in memory, we will understand what is columnar based data storage, we will understand what is a, can you tell me what are aggregate and indexes?
Totals tables of all.
Totals tables. What about index?
Index is a searching criteria through which we can access the table. It will speed up the searching.
So any example, any table which is an index table in SAP FI? Okay, no problem. So that is the reason what I'm saying is
BSID.
BSID, yes, you are right. BSID, BSIK, BSAK, BSAD, these are various examples of index table. So what we will do is in our next session, we will try to understand all these things. How can you check whether a table is a table or a view in S4HANA? In S4HANA, many tables are converted to CDS views, right? For example, BSID. BSID was an index table. Fraggle Flex T was a totals table. These totals, aggregate tables and index tables, they are now converted as views, as CDS views. But how can I verify whether a table is a table or a view? And what is the basic difference between a table and a view? So maybe you know the basics of, sorry?
The view don't store the data, it just shows the structure where the table stores the data.
Exactly. So these are the things that we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow our target would be to understand SAP HANA basics. Okay, what is in memory, what is database, columnar database storage, what is CDS views, how to verify whether a table is a table or a view. Okay, and if time permits, we will also understand basics of Fiori tomorrow itself. If not, if we take HANA itself tomorrow, then in the next class, we will understand what is SAP Fiori. And obviously, once we understand these basics of S4HANA, then we are going to touch this 15 hours of discussion on the simplifications in FI itself. Okay, so first section is to complete these basics. We already started off with the basics. We got the high level idea. What is SAP S4HANA? We understand there are three key enablers, HANA, Fiori, and the simplified processes. Now we will go through each of them. First HANA, then Fiori, and then detailed discussion on what are the simplified processes within financials, within finance and CO module. Okay, so any questions before we close our session today?
Sir, it is not related to course, it is for certification. I think this course is sufficient for SAP S4 HANA 1909 certification.
Yeah, 1909 certification is still not available till today, but okay, maybe before you, till the time you complete this course, maybe SAP will come up with 1909 also. But yes, if you compare this course, see, this course is Delta course. So I'm not saying that all the topics, whatever are coming in the certification exam, will be covered in this course, because you need to go through the old topics plus new topics to write the certification exam.
Okay, we can give the certification online.
Online, yes. It is completely online nowadays.
Okay.
I'll show you later on. I'll show you how you can register for the certification exam and how you can appear from your home itself.
Okay.
Okay, anything related to today's discussion that we had?
Yeah, Gaurav, actually we are very late to take these classes of S4HANA. I mean, it was already started in 2015, right? So we are taking now in 2020. So we missed all the previous, whatever the versions came, like 15.11, 16.08, and 18.09.
Yeah, no need
We
to
are
worry.
directly jumping to 19.09.
No need to worry. See, whatever it is, like you, iPhone came with version 1, 2, and now you are learning maybe X directly. But obviously, if you learn X, then most of the things what were available previously, you will be able to know that. So no need to worry. If you are learning 1909, if there is any change, if there is anything that I need to tell you, okay, this was not the same in some other version, then I'll be telling you that also. You don't need to worry. So
Okay.
you don't need to go for all the courses. This one course is sufficient.
Oh, okay. And what about the clients, Gaurav? The clients usually go for the latest, what is available in the market, or sometimes they prefer for going for the previous versions also?
Normally -1 is the rule. So if
-1.
1909
Okay.
is available today, customers are preferring 1809 because that is a stable version.
Okay, okay. So
One
if you
question,
learn
Gaurav.
1909, can we able to do 1809 also?
Definitely. 1909, whatever features are available, those are 1809 plus some new.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
One question, Gaurav. If somebody was an early adopter, like if they have already upgraded to S/4HANA in 2016, do they have to again do it in 2020 now, or they can continue with 2016?
You mean to say the customer? Customer, if they implemented 2016, let's say if they implemented 1610, so it is not necessary. It is not necessary for them to go for 1909. Okay, but obviously, your features are available in 1610. Only those features will be used. So till the time they upgrade to 1909, they will be only able to use 1610 features.
Okay. So when the
there is one thing that you must know here. There is a difference between on-premise and on-cloud. So if a customer is using on-premise, then he can take a decision whether I want to upgrade to 1909 or not. So let's say a customer has implemented 1610 on-premise and he has still not implemented 1909. It is completely fine because it is a customer's decision. But if a customer implemented S/4HANA Cloud in 2016, then obviously by default SAP has upgraded it to the latest version. There is no option for that. It is because if you are using cloud server is managed by SAP, and SAP will always update the latest version without even checking with you. It is by default.
Yeah. Thanks. But 1610 will be supported after 2025 also. They don't need to again upgrade in 2024 or not.
No. 1610 is also supported because it is S/4HANA. No?
Yeah.
Only ECC is not.
Understood. One more thing, all the classes are in weekends, 9:30 to 11. You said, na?
Yes. It would be in the weekends itself.
Okay. Thanks.
Only Saturdays we can?
Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow also we are meeting same time.
Okay. So you're not taking any weekly classes?
Weekly,
I mean,
I'm mainly into corporates and the other freelancing stuff that I'm doing.
Okay.
Is there any other class you are also taking simultaneously, Vikram, like right now?
Right now, I am taking controlling, which is before our class. It is 7:30 to 9.
Okay. How many classes are already finished in controlling?
So almost 14 classes are over, which means already half.
Okay. And what is the next course you will be? Okay.
Yeah. If you want to go for CO later on, I'll be starting in mid of Feb.
Okay. And are you taking anything special for brownfield process itself, like the whole simplification DB? Is there any course only focused on brownfield?
No, not required actually. As I told you, this one, if you go through my course, this one itself, the same course that we are doing, we have a discussion on the brownfield.
It covers brownfield also.
Yes. It covers the brownfield also. Because anyway, see, even in the market, if someone is telling you that we will teach you brownfield, please make sure that is it the theoretical session or it is a practical session, because practically it is close to impossible to take the session on brownfield, because what we need is brownfield not only functional. You know, in order to convert the ECC system to S4HANA, more than the functional expert is a technical effort required.
Yeah, so that's what I was asking actually. That was my question. Like, is there any way to learn also like the sum and readiness checks and other those things, are they taught? Of course, not in this course, but are you?
That will be discussing.
Huh? Oh, we'll be focusing, huh? We'll be focusing. Okay.
Yes, we'll be discussing in this course. What is readiness
Okay.
check? How to readiness check?
Oh, great. Thanks. That's great. Really great. Yeah, thanks.
Okay then, so any questions before we close?
So this PDF will be provided after this session, Gaurav?
Yes. This PDF I'll be sharing immediately after the session.
Okay.
PDF as well as recording. So each and every session will be recorded. So even today's session is completely recorded. So sometimes if someone of you is not able to join the session, they can go through the recordings later on.
Okay.
Okay then, thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you so much, Gaurav. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Gaurav.